Hi guys, welcome back to another week of Art Life. In this week's episode, I'm going to be taking you to Morocco and also talking you through my painting kind of reaction to the landscape and what I'll be doing in the studio in a kind of direct correlation to my exploration along the coast. So this week I've been along the coast of Morocco, the surf mecca between Tagazout and Agadir, mainly soaking up as much of that beautiful Moroccan light. The hazy sea mist was so inspiring to my recent practice in the studio. So I've made 2 works since I've been back this week, and I'm going to do another one today and share with you my thought process. So I have my exhibition in 1 month. I don't have time to kind of diverge very much from my painting practice with these kind of atmosphere studies. So I really wanted to captivate the kind of atmosphere of Morocco, which for me was a lot of minty greens, soft kind of dry desert light. The Atlas Mountains were in the kind of shadow of the horizon. So they were this beautiful kind of maroony color. And the light was very misty there until at least 2 o'clock in the afternoon every day. And I felt like it just infused me with a sense of kind of tranquility, and I found the whole trip very meditative, and I wanted to capture that in paper. So I've done the 2 studies here already this week. I have been on fire, and I wanted to do another one with you, or at least start one today, and how I'm going about capturing the essence of Morocco in my studio now that I'm back. So I'm a full-time landscape painter, and part of this is going out of my kind of native Suffolk into the world, exploring landscapes and seeing how I can scoop up inspiration and then bring it back into my painting practice. And if anyone watching here is an artist as well, you might find it's the experiences out of the studio that we kind of scoop up and bring back so we can work through them in our medium of choice, which in this case is oil painting for me. So I thought working on paper would be a great way to quickly and rapidly capture everything about the atmosphere of Morocco that inspired me so much. And I think a lot of that is in the palette, the muted palette. It wasn't kind of as bright as I was expecting because it was very kind of dry and hot, the kind of lazy surfing waves. The whole experience was just so sensory for me. I just feel like in these new paintings I want to really capture that in kind of what I'm doing. So I'm going to share that with you now, and also then guide you a little bit into some of the content I took while I was out there. This is nearly finished. I just have a few more marks just to make. The final marks are actually the most interesting. So just in case we don't have time to show a start to finish painting, I wanted you to get an idea of how I kind of do the final gestures of a piece, because I think they're the most important, because they can make or break a painting. You can overwork it and ruin it, or it can give you just the right amount of color to lift the whole thing. All about like misty smoke from the sea mist. Lots of blending. It's also a very slow process of painting this way. So there'll be a few of you who have actually been commenting on my Instagram about these works this week. It's a really amazing reminder that if you do enjoy these videos on YouTube, you can follow me daily on Instagram at JessOliverArt, and you can kind of keep up with these processes as well, because unfortunately in an Art Life episode we can't capture everything. So if you follow me on YouTube and Instagram, you get the full picture.
Okay, tell me.
Okay, so all fired up for Morocco, and it got me thinking about my palette and how everything in my exhibition next month is going to feel cohesive, and is work I was doing over the last few months changing so fast? Will it all make sense as a collective? So I brought in one of my older works from maybe in the winter to see how it compares to some of the other things dotted around the studio, and immediately I'm feeling like it all fits, but some of these newer works need a little bit more earth tones in them just to tie in. Now, with Morocco, I was using some kind of raw siennas with Naples yellows, some kind of hot reds, just to kind of pump up the kind of saturation of the painting. I can already say that from looking at maybe the older work, there's not much of these kind of like loose gestures that I'm now employing. The question is, do I go and rework the older stuff, or do I just say it was an evolution, I'm not going to fuss around with it too much in case I mess it up? These are all the questions that you kind of have if you're thinking about doing a solo show or presenting a body of work. If the body of work evolves to the point that the work you did at the beginning of the show doesn't really fit with the stuff at the end, how do you marry it all together? Can you see how dull that is?
But you always need clouds to notice the sun.
Okay, so I'm in love with this new stuff, so I kind of want to bring elements of this into the work I've been working on so far. I've got these two beautiful emeraldy blue pieces. Maybe they just need a little bit of earth tones just to kind of help them blend with the other stuff. I think I could leave them as just blue, but then I think in the actual exhibition it would all feel a little bit separated, and I want it to feel unified. So I was going to do another one of these and video it, but maybe instead I'm just going to add the Moroccan touch to some of my older paintings and see where that goes. Ooh, but before, so I'm just going to get this all set up. And while I'm doing that, let's share and roll the tape of my trip to Morocco, just so you get a flavour of what I'm talking about when I'm saying the Moroccan atmosphere. So here I'm at a souk Al Had. A souk is the traditional market bazaar for Morocco. And I'm so close to the waves. The whole atmosphere of this trip is about relaxing, about the kind of tastes and colour and light, the way the light hits the water. It's so good to be back in a hot country with cactus trees by the ocean, with that clear blue sky and all the friendly people and kind of different environments which I've been craving for a while now. And people here are so friendly. As a solo traveller, I was worried about kind of being on my own, but everybody, particularly if you speak a little bit of French, is so helpful as you're walking through the spice markets. They have everything in these bazaars, fruits. The smell of oranges and mint and melons and cinnamon is just permeating in the air. I've never smelled anything like it. It also inspires me to want to cook, to make tagines, to try different flavours of the country. The colours here are what is inspiring me so much. There's a dryness to the light here. I mean, yes, I've got these beautiful greens from all the kind of fresh herbs and fruits, and the turtles in boxes. I've never seen anything like it. And everyone is so helpful. This is the traditional tisane. They mix rose petals and verbena and mint, and they put it in buckets with ginger, soak it in hot water, and have it as beautiful teas with sugar. It's just the thing about traveling, just seeing sunsets from a different part of the world, is exactly what inspires me to paint. I wish I had my easel here right now. I've also been surfing a lot of these waves this week, so just being by this coast, seeing the beautiful kind of crest of the waves has put me in my happy place. So this is this like lovely mint green, which I was having so much mint tea out there. It was obviously just like all the kind of beautiful herbs and spices you have in the markets and everything. That's what I see when I see this green. A few people have actually been messaging me about book club and to kind of restart doing my book club reading list for my painting practice more on Art Life. So I just thought I'd start incorporating that into the week. While I was away, I was reading a book called Breakfast at Sotheby's by Philip Hook, because my younger sister Alex, who you have met, she is embarking on the Sotheby's Institute Masters year next year. She's been accepted in. So we were talking a lot about the institution of Sotheby's and auction houses, and it got me rereading this lovely book, Breakfast at Sotheby's. I can highly recommend it as a really chilled, beautiful read. Philip knows what he's talking about. It's kind of touching on all different subjects and kind of references to art and art staples of what you kind of should know about the art industry. It's just a really beautiful book to read. If you're feeling like you want a recommendation from me this week, that was my holiday read. And maybe we could talk a little bit about the kind of institution of more auction house selling, the art market, that side of things, because from talking to Alex, she's been doing loads of research on it, it is a huge subject. So comments below if you think that you want to learn a little bit more about that side of the art world. So actually getting out of the studio for a week to Morocco has given me a sense of rejuvenation, and I feel like I can look at everything with fresh eyes. I think I was getting a little bit too kind of cross-eyed, staring in this studio all day, every day at the same paintings. So I feel like I've had a bit of space and distance, which is the best thing for a painting, not just to step back and look at it, but actually to sometimes just leave it for a while and let it rest, because you always come back to it and feel a lot more invigorated, which is definitely what I'm feeling. See how like the umber glaze just tones everything down a bit, and it still has the vibrancy, but it almost, I think, just looks a bit deeper, like it has more depth. So thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Art Life. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment if there's anything in this week's episode that you've enjoyed or thoughts you've had that you'd like to share. Don't forget you can tune in every Monday for more episodes of studio updates. Now we're into the last month before my exhibition, so the coming weeks are going to be frantic painting and planning for the event of what a private view is and all other things that go with planning the show. Also, if you have any other ideas of videos you'd like me to make, please do write to me and let me know if there's anything I can kind of go through. We're talking about maybe doing some more teaching lessons for teaching oil painting. I can talk through more about the mediums I use, the tools I use, different processes for like using the oils as well. I'd love to go more into like the Michael Harding oils and like how I use them, etc. So if any of that sounds interesting, do let me know in the comments below. So yeah, I'm just gonna carry on with this until next week, guys. I'll see you on Monday. Bye.